Lots of NBA players come and go, and stars could become irrelevant very quickly if things don't go their way. Things like injuries, bad seasons, and awkward fits could force them out of playing in the NBA for a long time, and some guys who were once prominent players on teams are nowhere to be found. So, let's go over 5 former NBA stars who have disappeared this season. For a quick honorable mention, I have Carmelo Anthony. So there's already been a lot of discussion about Melo and his potential return to the NBA, but still, no team has signed him yet. He hasn't played since last season, and he is still waiting for another opportunity to play a role as a scorer for an NBA team. But his defense is getting worse as he gets older, and this is a real turnoff for many teams. There is a chance some team like the Los Angeles Lakers will give him a chance if they continue to struggle with bench scoring, and it would definitely be fun to watch LeBron and Melo on the same team once again. But for now, Melo is still out of the NBA. First up on this list, I have Andre Robertson. It has been 2 years since Robertson has played in an NBA game, as he has been out with a torn patellar tendon injury. I don't think people get how severe this injury is, as it isn't too common in the NBA, but many players who sustain this injury don't come back the same. We saw this recently with Jeremy Lin, who lost a lot of his quickness in his return last season, and now he is out of the NBA. For the record though, I do think Lin is still an NBA level player who can be a solid backup in the league, but that's for a whole other story. But back to Robertson, he will likely return sometime this season, but it's been almost 2 years since he's played in the league, which is crazy to think about. When Robertson returns, it's going to be very interesting to see how he'll look. A lot of Robertson's game is dependent on his length and quickness on defense, and that quickness is going to take a huge hit when he initially comes back. I would be surprised if he still plays defense at an all-NBA defensive team level right away, and the Thunder should hope he is still even above average on the defensive end. If he still can be a good perimeter defender and knock down open threes, he will be a solid trade piece along with Chris Paul, Danilo Gallinari, and some of the other Thunder vets as well. Hopefully, Robertson will come back soon, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see how he looks when he comes back. So next up on this list, I have Brandon Knight. He was one of the most promising young guards in the NBA, but then things went wrong when he was traded to the Suns. He struggled to fit next to Bledsoe and Booker, and his ACL injury kicked him out of the rotation for good. In the 2018 NBA offseason, he was traded to the Houston Rockets, where he struggled, and then he was traded in a salary dump to the Cavs mid-season. He showed signs of potentially still being a decent floor spacer, but he was not as quick as he used to be. I think this is what really hurt his game, as he depended a lot on his speed to get to the rim and get easy points. Now he can still shoot at a decent clip and be a secondary playmaker when on the floor, but he has mainly just become a veteran presence for the Cavs. The Cavaliers have a crowded backcourt with Garland, Sexton, Clarkson, and Dellavedova, and Knight will likely not see regular rotation minutes unless there are injuries. It will be interesting to see if Knight will get another chance in the NBA next season, and I hope he can make a comeback after his recent struggles. Next up on this list, I have Michael Beasley. So he was actually pretty good in limited minutes with the Los Angeles Lakers last season. He averaged a career-high 23.5 points per 36 minutes, and he was a quick scoring punch off the bench until he got traded to the Clippers, and was then waived. He did have an agreement with the Pistons this past summer, but it somehow never came to fruition. I think he should get another chance in the NBA, as he could get a bucket almost whenever he wants, as we saw last season with the Lakers. He still is not a knockdown 3-point shooter and cannot play good defense for long spurts, but he can be a microwave scorer for about 15 minutes per game off the bench for any NBA team. I think a team like the Golden State Warriors could definitely use him, as they have a weak small forward rotation and could use another scorer off the bench. Their bench is really weak, and it lacks consistent playmaking and scoring. Beasley can help bring some offense for the Warriors bench, and it would be smart for Golden State or any other NBA team that needs some more scoring for their bench to sign Michael Beasley to a non-guaranteed deal. I think he will get another chance eventually, and hopefully he can stick in the league after a rough past couple of seasons. And before we get into our final 2 players on this list, I just want to give a quick shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets, and using the app, you can see which ticket is a good deal which has a green dot, or a bad deal which has a red dot for any sporting event or concert. It's an easy to navigate app, and it's a must-have for anyone who's interested in attending an event. Use my discount code THETBALL to get $20 off your first purchase when you first sign up for an account, and I'll leave a link to the site where you can sign up, or you can also download the app on your phone as well and use my code to get the discount there. Now back to the video. Next up on this list I have Dante Exum. He was supposed to be one of the next best point guards in the NBA, as he has the size to become an excellent two-way player. However, that has just not happened, as injuries have derailed every time it seems he was about to break out. The Utah Jazz signed him to a 3-year, $33 million contract in the 2018 offseason after an impressive playoff showing, and he has essentially provided no value to the Jazz since then. He suffered a partially torn patellar tendon injury last season, and he's been out since then. The injury will likely take away a lot of his quickness when he returns, and he's going to have to depend a lot more on his three-point shot, which is something he has struggled a lot with throughout his career. Also, it comes into question if he's even going to break the Jazz rotation when he returns. The Jazz brought in Mike Conley and Emmanuel Mudiay this past summer, and Mitchell can also play the one as well. If Exum sees minutes, he will likely see a lot of them at the 2, which is not his natural position. I thought he showed signs of being a very good passer and distributor before he got injured, and it seemed like he had good chemistry with Gobert on lobs. However, with the Jazz current rotation, he won't get much of a chance to run the show. He has to show that he can still play great defense and also have improved his shooting when he returns, or he will not even see any minutes this year. And finally, to round off this list, I have Nick Young. He has not played in the NBA since getting a 10-day contract with the Denver Nuggets last season, and it is not looking like he will return to the league. His defense has never been good, and his on and off shooting is not something many teams are looking for in a vet. You know, it is actually kind of sad because Young is a super fun guy to watch with his personality on and off the court, and he can of course get hot in a hurry. He was great with the Los Angeles Lakers a few years ago, but it is not likely he can get back to that form. However, I would love to see Young get one more shot in the NBA before he retires, and hopefully, a team will sign him as a bench shooter sometime this year. Maybe a team like the Houston Rockets or another team that could use some shooting will sign him to a deal mid-season, but if not, I'm not sure if Young will get another chance in the NBA after this year. It would be really fun to see him play in something like the Big 3 though, as he would get a ton of shots and light it up in a 3-on-3 format that I think he would actually thrive in. Also, before we wrap up this video, a few other players actually came into mind that I want to quickly touch upon. Nick Batum has been terrible after getting that huge contract from the Hornets, and he has also been dealing with a ton of injuries as well. He was once one of the NBA's most versatile players, as he averaged about 15 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, and played great defense for the Hornets during the 2015-16 NBA season, and now he's barely a bench level player. He just had another injury in the season opener for the Hornets, and it just seems like he cannot catch a break. His contract is now nearly untradeable, and at 30 years old, it looks like he will never live up to his deal. And I wanted to mention Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and I won't talk too much about him now because I want to make a full video on what happened to his promising career in a separate video, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Dion Waiters was just suspended from the Heat after detrimental behavior on the team, and it looks like he is out of the rotation for good after Hero and Nunn shined in the Heat season opener. He was once thought to be the next star for the Heat, but now it looks like he will not even see regular minutes. He will likely be traded mid-season if the Heat find a taker, or worst case, they will waive him if he keeps acting out. So that's a wrap. Thank you all for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video and want to see more daily NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and also be sure to turn on post notifications so you can stay updated on when next video will be coming out. Also, follow me on Instagram and hit me up if you want to talk about basketball, business, or have any video ideas you want me to do. Let me know as I do try to back to all you guys there. Drop a comment down below on which other NBA stars disappeared this season that I didn't mention on this list. Let me know as I do roll comments. I'm definitely interested to see what you guys have to say. So without that being said, once again, thank you all for watching, and hopefully I will see you guys soon for the next video. Peace.